Good evening. Today, March 28th, 2026, the United States is witnessing a monumental wave of dissent as millions of people have taken to the streets nationwide under the powerful motto, "No Kings." These demonstrations are a direct protest against the policies and governance of President Donald Trump's administration. Organizers estimate that participants have gathered in all 50 states, with more than 3,000 events registered across the country. The sheer scale of this mobilization is staggering, with media reports suggesting approximately 9 million participants nationwide. This would mark one of the largest protest movements in the history of the United States. The demonstrations began earlier today and have unfolded in various forms across major cities and rural areas alike. In Atlanta, in the southern state of Georgia, thousands marched with poignant signs declaring, "We are losing our democracy." Meanwhile, in the nation's capital, Washington, District of Columbia, tens of thousands of President Trump's opponents converged on the iconic Lincoln Memorial, carrying banners that boldly proclaimed, "Fight Fascism." The central event of these nationwide protests is unfolding in St. Paul, Minnesota, where an estimate 100,000 participants are expected. This rally is attracting significant attention due to the presence of prominent figures. Among those scheduled to appear are the left-leaning Senator Bernie Sanders, the celebrated actress Jane Fonda, and the legendary rock star Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen's involvement is particularly poignant. He is set to perform his song, "Streets of Minneapolis," which he penned in response to controversial actions taken by federal agencies. These actions, part of intensified measures against migration, had previously sparked weeks of local protests in the region and tragically led to the deaths of 2 United States citizens from shots fired by federal officers. The grievances fueling these protests extend beyond migration policy. Demonstrators are also voicing strong opposition to the administration's foreign policy decisions and the ongoing rise in the cost of living that impacts everyday Americans. Critics broadly accuse President Trump of undermining fundamental democratic principles, including freedom of speech, civil rights, and the sanctity of the voting right. Organizers, a coalition of various civil society groups, articulated their core message clearly in the lead-up to today's events. They stated, "President Trump wants to rule over us like a tyrant. But this is America, and power lies with the people, not with wannabe kings or their billionaire cronies." Further criticisms highlight President Trump's tendency to govern by executive decree and the perceived use of the judiciary against political opponents. This is not the first time such widespread opposition has materialized. Today marks the third nationwide protest day since President Trump's second term commenced 14 months ago. Previous major mobilizations with millions of participants took place in October and June of last year. One notable aspect of this current wave of protests is the diverse participation. Organizers have reported that a substantial portion of registrations for these events originated from traditionally conservative rural regions and suburban areas, not solely from the classic strongholds of the Democratic Party. The dissent is not confined to U.S. borders. Anti-President Trump demonstrations are also planned in cities across Europe, including Amsterdam, Madrid, and Rome, underscoring the international concern surrounding the administration's policies. Adding further impetus to the demonstrations is widespread dissatisfaction over the Iran war, which commenced just 1 month ago, initiated by the United States in conjunction with Israel. Naveed Shah from the Common Defense Veterans Association, an ally of the No Kings movement, stated, "Since we last took to the streets, this government has pulled us deeper into a war." The No Kings movement represents a significant expression of popular will as millions of Americans demand accountability and a reassertion of democratic values. What's your take on No Kings? Millions protest President Trump across US. Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.